Shalom Aleichem, friends of the Sephardic congregation of Helendale. In this week's parasha, Parashat Bo, the Jewish people are commanded in the first mitzvah that is given to them as a nation. Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron, HaChodesh hazeh lachem Rosh Chodashim. This month is for you a new month. Rishon hu lachem lechodesh Hashanah. It is the first month of the year. This, of course, refers to the month of Nisan. But what is the mitzvah? The mitzvah is that of sanctifying the new month. The mitzvah of Kiddush HaChodesh. And basically, briefly, the way it works is that witnesses witness the first slither of the new moon, the first appearance of the new moon. They come to the Beit Din, they declare that they have witnessed this, and the Beit Din then declare that day, Rosh Chodesh, if they choose to do so, or alternatively, the Beit Din have the autonomy to choose to delay Rosh Chodesh by one day and only declare the next day as Rosh Chodesh. But this is the mitzvah of Kiddush HaChodesh. Today, of course, we do not have the mitzvah of Kiddush HaChodesh, and we have a fixed calendar. But this is how it used to work, and this is the mitzvah of the Torah. Now the question is, why is this the first mitzvah that the Jewish people are commanded in? Of all the mitzvot, it could have been Shabbat, it could have been Yom Kippur, it could have been Tefillin, it could have been Mezuzah, it could have been anything. Why is Kiddush HaChodesh, the sanctification of the new month, why is that the first mitzvah that the Jewish people are commanded in? And upon this question, I'm going to add another question. And that is that it seems strange that Moshe Rabbeinu is given such free access to Pharaoh's palace. In last week's parasha and in this week's parasha, he enters and leaves the palace warning Paro. And we do not find anywhere in the sages that Pharaoh made any attempt at this point to assassinate Paro. At least to my knowledge, this doesn't appear. It is true that there was a previous attempt to assassinate Moshe when he initially left to Midian, from which he was miraculously saved. But at this period of time, I do not believe the Midrashim say that Paro attempted to assassinate Moshe Rabbeinu. Why not? He's a nuisance. He's causing trouble. He's creating havoc in Egypt. All this negativity is coming through him. Why is there no attempt on Paro's behalf to assassinate Moshe Rabbeinu? And the answer to this question, I believe, is contained in the words of the Tel Zarov in Shiurei Dat. He says like this. Rabbi Yehuda Leib Bloch says as follows. He says, when one is having a physical encounter, a physical fight with somebody else, it makes sense to annihilate the enemy. It makes sense to assassinate the enemy. But this debate between Paro and Moshe Rabbeinu was not in any way a physical debate. It was purely philosophical. In a philosophical debate, you do not assassinate or annihilate your enemy, because that's a sign of weakness. That shows that you have in fact lost the debate. That's a sign of weakness. You would never do that. And therefore, Paro never kills Moshe Rabbeinu. The question is, what is the debate? What is the debate between Moshe Rabbeinu and Paro? And I believe in a nutshell, the Ramban indicates what this debate is. The Ramban says right at the end of Parashat Bo as follows. He says, Umin hanisim hagdolim hamufursamim, and from the great miracles that are publicized, the great revealed public miracles, Adam modeh banisim hanistarim shehem yesod haTorah. A person comes to admit to and understand that in fact there are hidden miracles, which is the foundation of the Torah. She'ein la'adam chelek b'Torat Moshe Rabbeinu. A person does not have a portion in the Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu Ad she'na'amin b'chol davareinu, until we believe that all our words, umikreinu, and everything that happens to us, shekulam nisim ein bahem teva, unless we believe we do not have a portion in the Torah of Moshe, unless we believe that everything that happens to us is miraculous, and there's no such thing as nature, umin hagoshel olam, and just the way things work, bein b'dvarim, bein barabim, bein b'yachid, whether we're speaking about a group of people or whether we're speaking about individuals. So the Ramban says that what was the purpose of all these public miracles and all the 10 plagues and everything that took place in Egypt? That we should know and realize that there's no such thing as nature. And this was the debate between Moshe Rabbeinu and Paro. Paro says it's all natural, it's all put into place. There's no Hashem. It was all spontaneously developed through an evolutionary process. There's no God. He doesn't exist. Everything's nature. And Moshe Rabbeinu is showing Paro that on every level of the universe, on every level of life, Hashem is present. That there's no such thing as nature. It's all Hashem. And this is the debate, the philosophical debate between Moshe Rabbeinu. And as Jews, we have to know, we have to believe, says the Ramban, the foundation of all our belief is that there's no such thing as nature. Everything is Hashem. Nature is merely what Hashem chooses to do over and over and over again. And therefore, a Jew has to feel everything's possible. It makes no difference what one's mazal is, what was decreed. One can get above everything if one connects to spirituality in the correct way. In fact, I believe that perhaps one could explain with this why the first mitzvah that the Jewish people are commanded in is Kiddush HaChodesh. Because Kiddush HaChodesh relates to the astronomical bodies, the sun, the moon. In fact, the moon, it's the lunar month. And it's coming to tell, Hashem's coming to tell the Jewish people, listen, the moon appears at every month. Every so many days, the moon reappears. But you, the Jewish people, should not feel controlled by it. You have a choice. The Beit Din has a choice. Today's going to be Rosh Chodesh or tomorrow. A Jew should never feel constricted by mazal, a Jew should never feel that, well, it's just up to mazal, I can never do anything, I can never change anything, I'm restricted, it's all natural, it's all decreed, it's all in the stars, I have no free will, I'm controlled by the celestial beings, as many astrologers would have one believe. A Jew has to believe that everything is Hashem. Even the mazalot, even the constellations that Hashem created, it's all Hashem. And through connecting to Hashem, one can elevate oneself above everything. Ein mazal Yisrael, as the sages coined the term, there is no mazal to Israel. And the most fundamental thing that we have to remember is that the debate between Moshe and Paro is a debate that continues in each of us, within each of us today. How many times do we find ourselves saying, well, this is just the way it is. This is nature. I cannot conquer this. I cannot get above it. It's random. It just happens. That's the Paro within us. The Moshe Rabbeinu says, no, it's Hashem. I can pray. I can change things. Change is possible. Hashem controls everything. I'm not restricted and confined and constrained by nature, which is Mitzrayim, constrictions. I can get above anything by connecting to Hashem, who is in fact in control of everything. As the Baal Shem Tov once put it, the only difference between a miracle and nature is the frequency of the event. And we should take strength from this, and we should recognize the little Paro within ourselves saying, that's the way of the world, it's predestined, it's nature, we cannot change anything. We can connect to Hashem, and through Hashem, everything is possible, of course, if it is the will of Hashem. But we have to realize that everything in our lives, everything that happens to us, as the Ramban says, Kol Dvareinu Mikreinu, is from Hashem. And that is our purpose in life to recognize that everything that occurs to us is not random, but is indeed Hashem. Shabbat Shalom.